Nation, we are back. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building. You guys know what time it is. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo, the Graphic and Hammer edition. I am one of your hosts, Graphic Raider. Got my brother Hammer's house in the building. What's good, bro?
The real tribal chief of Raider Nation is in the building, y'all. Fuck what you heard from Roman Reigns yesterday.
Acknowledge me.
You are acknowledged, kind sir. The chat, you are also acknowledged. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, we appreciate every single one of you guys for rocking, whether you're watching on my channel or Hammer's channel. It does not matter, you guys. Just make sure you wipe them feet, break them thumbs. That means get those likes up, and also hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. A lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about this Kolton Miller holdout. We're going to talk about some Aidan O'Connell news. And we're going to just go over everything in the nation today. But how you feeling, little bro?
Good. We are a week away from the 2025 NFL draft. There's so much shit being talked about over the next week. You're going to hear a whole bunch of more bullshit. Anything right now is on the table. We know that. After watching what we talked about off air, Aaron Rodgers was on Pat McAfee's show just now. I already have some thoughts about Pittsburgh, and they might be that team that pulls that fleece move in the first round come next Thursday night.
Let me ask you, if they wanted to move from, I think they're at 21, right?
21.
If they wanted to move to 6, what do you need from Pittsburgh to move all the way back to 21?
You're trying to get a top 10 spot. You're giving me 2 first. You're giving me this year's. You're giving me next year's.
And you're gonna give me something else. I need give me a third this year too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe they don't have a second. So I think they have a third.
No, they don't. They don't.
Yeah. So hey, shoot me that third. Shoot me a future first. I'm cool with that.
Yep.
We can run it, man. Salute to the chat as always. Once again, man, we are here. We are a week away from the draft. I cannot wait. We will be covering it all 3 days, you guys. Shieldmore will be in full effect Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I know Hammer has some things going on, but he's going to try and be here Friday, Saturday as well. Big Mike will be in the building. We're going to have Andy pop in at some point. Honcho is going to be rocking with us day one, I believe. Scout's going to be coming through and kicking it with us as well. So make sure that Shieldmore is your place for the NFL draft. Salute to 2-4. Who needs Mel Kiper when we have Hammer Mock? Talk 2-4.
Holla, city of squalor.
Appreciate you, bro.
How are we feeling right now? So some news came out yesterday that, Kolton Miller has not shown up to voluntary workouts that started out there in Henderson at our headquarters. He does want a new deal, which makes sense. There's no guaranteed money left on the books. I believe this year's contract was about 15 mil. I think 15 mil.
Yeah, roughly
around there, right? This is his second deal with the Raiders. He's looking for a third. He spent his whole career with us. Had a rough patch last year, little bro. His first 5 weeks, 6 weeks, struggled trying to get back from that shoulder injury. Got a lot better after that. I believe in the first 5 weeks, he gave up somewhere like 6 sacks. It didn't look Kolton Miller-esque. You know what I mean? That shoulder injury was clearly affecting his gameplay. But he got a lot better as the season went on. He was one of our better offensive linemen last season, along with JPJ. But how are you feeling about this? Because it's funny. I went on Twitter and I kind of gave my take on this. Like, hey, man, get into training camp and just show that you're healthy. Show that you're fully healthy, because He's dealt with shoulder injuries that have lingered for years. He's dealt with ankle injuries. He's battled through them, though. He's been a very durable left tackle for us. I believe he's only missed like 5 or 6 games in like the past 4 or 5 years. So he's been very durable for us. He's fought through those injuries. But I was like, you know what? Let me reach out to one of my guys. And I actually I didn't reach out. It's funny. Colton Miller, his brother, salute to my guy. That's my dog in real life. He hit me up. He said, Graf, what the fuck is going on, bro? He's like, I'm sitting over here at the bar and I'm getting me an IPA. And he was like, I see fucking this Colton Miller shit. I said, bro, you tell me. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? So, and he was like, man, I got to figure out what the fuck's going on with my brother and shit, right? Salute to him. I'm not going to put his info out there because I don't want people hitting him up left and right. But he has a media company and he covers a lot of the Shrine Bowl and a lot of the college level stuff as well. Salute to my guy. But I think a lot of people were kind of confused by this. Like, what the hell is going on? We knew he only had 1 year left on his deal. And we knew at some point they were going to have to get to the bargaining table. This is my take, and I want your take. I feel like you have a whole new regime in the building, right? And it's not just easy to come in and say, let's just re-sign everybody. Max was a given. You have to make sure you sign your best player on your roster to an extension. Make him happy, okay? I knew that Kolton Miller and Jacoby's deals were going to take a little bit more time because, once again, you have to evaluate that. You don't evaluate Max. Like, Max is like he's one of the better players in the NFL. With Kolton, you have to go over these numbers have been kind of crazy, man, kind of spooky in that market, little bro, with offensive linemen. And what does Kolton want? We don't know yet because it sounds like the Raiders haven't even spoken to him yet. Kolton and them haven't spoken to the Raiders. So it sounds like they're kind of, I don't even want to say a standoff. I just think that Spy Tech is kind of still evaluating the room, so to speak. People thought that I was like, don't pay Kolton and trade him. I'm not saying that. I think that Kolton needs to be a Raider for the rest of his career, but it has to make financial sense. What Kolton are you getting? Are you getting the first half of last year, or are you getting the second half, right? Maybe they want to see where he is in terms of his health. Go and get out there and work out, and let's see where that shoulder is before we pay you a massive amount of money to stick around and be that left tackle of the future. Then I also got to thinking maybe they want to get to the draft first. If Josh Simmons is there in the second round, Hammer, right, coming off a torn ACL, Chip Kelly's very familiar with him, Ohio State. Maybe they're saying we can move on from Kolton. We can trade him. A lot of New England Patriot fans were out there screaming yesterday. And I had to tell some people to kind of calm down a little because if you trade Kolton to New England, they're taking Jeanty at 4. So not only do you lose Jeanty, but you lose your starting left tackle, and you're probably going to have to take Will Campbell there, maybe Mimbu. I don't know. But just how do you feel? I'm rambling at this point. How do you feel about
this? You're good, bro. This whole thing, like, and you just said, like, he's in the final year of his contract. So yeah. I get it. And there have been talks, there have been a couple of mock drafts that were thrown around recently that they have us now trying to get a tackle and a left tackle to pretty much be the successor to Kolton Miller, as if they're like, oh yeah, he's going to play out the final year of his contract and next man up. Now, in terms of the money aspect right now, I'm looking at a list of the highest paid left tackles in the NFL right now. And their average salary is roughly like around $27.5 million. Yeah. So are we again, new regime, like not their guy. Are you confident enough of giving him an extension? Like, yes, he's already gotten one from us before. And it seems like, he's not showing up to workouts because he wants a new deal. He clearly, in my opinion, it's coming off like he wants to stay a Raider. So it's like, let's make something work. Let's figure something out. But what ideally is going to make sense for him? A 3-year, around like a 3-year, $76 to $78 million contract.
I'm more along the lines of 2. Give him a 2-year deal and put most of the
you can go a 2-year, like probably close to 60, a little under 60.
Yeah, and front loaded year 1. And if you bring in a guy this year in the draft and he ends up, looking good and he's your left tackle of the future, then you can move on from him. Who's to say, bro, that they don't believe in one of these guys on the roster? And I'm not here to say that this player is better than Kolton Miller. So I want everybody to pump the brakes a little bit. But remember when Thayer Munford, he played 203 snaps at left tackle in 2003. Started in 4 games when Colton went down. He looked good, 6'6", 320. I mean, Chip can look at him and say, man, he could potentially be a spot starter on the left side. And what you don't want a spot starter, right? I mean, you want a guy out there that's your guy. They are still young, former 7th round pick, look good out there once again. He looks like he belongs on the left side. He doesn't look like a right tackle. He struggled a little bit before that injury. He looked better on the left side.
He struggled. But overall, he was a guy for the last 2 years that I know I was mentioning him a lot.
Yeah.
When it came to our offensive line, because of the things that I was hearing inside that facility in terms of his effort, in terms of his production, like he was a guy that was constantly on the heels to become a starter. He was on the heels of taking a Luminor's spot 2 years ago. Like, you can put him right tackle, you can put him left tackle. Could he be the guy that they just let Miller go and have him as a starting left tackle? Tough to say.
Let me ask you this. Do you even think about moving Kolton Miller with 1 year left on his deal? Or do you make him stand, or do you make him, all right, you sit out? Because that deal is a really good deal right now, bro. 15 mil for the last season for 1 more year. And essentially, if he goes out there, he's fighting for another contract.
Well, if you want your bag, you better play for it this year. Like you were talking about the numbers last year, and realistically, like, look, offensive snaps played, he ranked 11th with 1,075. Pass blocks snap played 716, which was 3rd. Penalties, he only had 7, which was 101st. Sacks allowed, great. He allowed 7. Hits allowed 121st with only 6. Total pressures allowed 38. His rankings, overall grade, he was 14th. He was ranked 14th out of 141 tackles in the league.
And he's getting paid at 13th highest right now in terms of his position. And that's kind of where he's ranked. And mind you, I don't think that Colton is asking for top left tackle money, Yammer. I don't. I just think that he's like, I have no guaranteed money left on the books. Take care of me. Like give me the max treatment. You know what I'm saying? Like, just take care of me, because once again, that 12th, 13th, that's kind of where he truly ranks as a left. Sometimes he looks top 7. Sometimes, at the beginning of last year, he looked really bad, one of the bottom left tackles in the league. But most of the time, when healthy, Colton looks like a top 10, top 12 tackle. So
if you're gonna pay him like a top 10 or where he is now, which is like 13th, 14th, you could drop it a little bit. It would just be like the low 20s, like 22, 23. Like, I'm looking at the top 5 right now, and here are the averages per year. So Tristan Wirfs, 28.1 million per year.
Yeah.
Penei Sewell, 28 million per year. Trent Williams, 27.6 a year. Christian Darrisaw, 26 million a year. Laramie Tunsil, 25 million a year, and that's the top 5.
I give him the 20 range. I'd give him the 20 range, 20, 21. I mean, Colton deserves it. But once again, I just think it's smart for him. And once again, this is voluntary workouts, you guys. I'm not going to jump out the window here and act as though he's truly holding out. This is a Northern California guy. He's played his entire career with the Raiders. I think he wants to end it the way he started it. One of the last Oakland Raiders left on this roster, one of like 5, I believe. But, I know how much the Raiders means to Kolton Miller. I know how much this team means to him. But once again, with no guaranteed money left on the books, and the way he came out there and fought through that injury last year and got better week in and week out, he deserves an extension. It just has to make financial sense.
I just feel right now, having this new coaching staff, having a new offensive coordinator, having a whole entire offensive coaching staff, like, you need to be there. Like, fuck the money right now. Like, voluntary or not, you should be there to start taking everything in and learning this new system.
Well, okay, now let me be devil's advocate. The problem is this: voluntary workouts. You go in there, you re-injure your shoulder. There's no guarantee money on the books. You're cooked. You're cooked. You know what I mean? So Colton and his representation are probably saying, look, we're gonna play this smart until we see some guaranteed money.
But you could voluntarily be there and not have to physically participate. We've seen people do that. We've seen players do that in the past, bro.
Agreed, but how does that help your case in order to get an extension? Yeah, I'm in the building, but Okay, well, John is like, well, let me see you work out. Let me see where you are with your shoulder. Are you still having ankle injuries? Or ankle problems? What's going on with you? There's so much that goes into this. It's so detailed. You can't just go out there and just pay a guy $20 million if you're John Spytek, Tom Brady, and Carroll and company without really truly knowing. Yes, he fought back last year, and yes, he played really well at the end of the season. But once again, can you go through an offseason? Remember, he didn't have an offseason last year.
No.
Cameron? He had shoulder surgery and missed the entire program. So we shall see. Salute to L Rocket, Coupon.com, John cuts KM. Acknowledge me. He's not going to cut Kolton Miller. Definitely not going to. You can't do that. It's one of your best players on your roster. You're definitely not going to cut him. If anything, if they decide to move on, though, they can get a second, maybe a third-round pick for Kolton, because offensive line is definitely a difficult place, to find serviceable bodies. And Kolton Miller was a good left tackle. I want to say really good left tackle. I'm not going to say great because he's never been a Pro Bowl, never been an All-Pro, but he's a really good left tackle.
He's in the top 15 realistically, and like you just saw us go over the numbers and his performance last year. Like he's top 15. Yeah,
for sure. I got top 10 when healthy and when he's really moving and grooving.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, you have to look at the bottom line there. You went over some of those contracts. You're not paying him Penei Sewell kind of money, especially at 30 years old. That's when those injuries really start to rear the nasty head. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets disgusting out here when you hit that 30 range. I mean, we're 40 now. I mean, I am. Shit get dark when you're 40. You know what I mean? So, but I remember the body changing at 30. It's not as easy to get back from all that type of stuff that he's dealt with. I mean, bro, he's 6'9", ankle injuries and shoulder, like that's tough. I mean, 6'9", what is he, like 310?
6'8", 320, 6'8", 325. I like Natural Immunity's contract offer 3 for 67. I like that. I
mean, bro, just give him 2 extra years on top of the deal.
Give him the guaranteed, because that's what he's out of.
That's all he was.
Like Max was.
Yeah.
That's it. So you can lock him in for another 3 years. Cool.
If we can trade him to a team that needs O-linemen, and it's going to be probably like New England, maybe we can get a 3rd and a 5th, give up a 4th, like Houston and Washington did with Tunsil. I mean, hey, man, the thing is this. I don't even want to think about moving Kolton Miller right now, because once again, now you're essentially digging yourself a deeper grave. Now you have to find a left tackle. Now, if their plan is to already go out there and upgrade at the left tackle position, if they think they can do that in this year's class, hey, be my guest. I'm not Spytek. I'm not Tom Brady. Those guys get paid the big bucks to make those kind of decisions. But Chance, I don't want to move Kolton Miller. I don't. Hold on to him.
Especially not New England. That shit got me terrified now.
Yeah, because once again, you move him, and they're probably saying, Ramondre Stevenson, who? Let's go get Jeanty, and let's just run him behind this new O-line that we built. So to S. Or we can draft Jalen Travis later in the draft, like I did for Kolton, and draft Jackson Slater, my guy out of Sac State, in the 2nd round. If Mimble and Booker is not there, check Travis out. I'm already on the drive. S. With the Trenches Report. With the Trenches Report, the daily Trenches Report. Salute to my guy, S. Dizzle. Salute to Raider Pace as well. There's no way they're going to create a hole like this right before the draft. It's only April, and I'm confident they know how to run a team. Fans tripping because dudes skip voluntary weightlifting. Talk that talk. And we're only doing this show Pace because, once again, I seen everybody freaking out on Twitter yesterday. Seen everybody freaking out on Instagram. I got a million messages from everybody. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Trade him, get rid of him. Kolton hasn't even spoken on this situation yet. I think he's doing what's best for him, and the Raiders are doing what's best for them. You can't just jump the gun here, y'all. Once again, we're looking like an actual respectable organization again, taking our time, evaluating the process, and taking care of some of our guys, letting other guys walk in free agency and so on and so forth. But you can't just go out there and just pay these guys just to pay these guys. You can't. You got to evaluate. And now that we have these guys in the building, it's going to take some time and for them to allow to do that. So let's just pump the brakes a little bit. Pace, my guy, and Reb. Yes, man. Glaze can definitely play left tackle as well. We can slide him over and just have to get a right tackle. The thing is this, man. You don't want to move Glaze after playing, at right tackle right there. I mean, I think you keep Glaze on the right side. And if you don't, me personally, I'd rather push him to guard. And if you're going to get a left tackle, I think you need to upgrade at the left tackle position. If you're going to move on from Kolton, you got to get a better left tackle. I wouldn't want to force Glaze after his rookie season playing at right tackle. We played good. Actually played really good to move him on to the left side. It wouldn't make any sense to me. So, one thing you don't want to do is interrupt these guys' development so early. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think people realize once you really play football, and Hammer, this, we were never O-linemen. I mean, look at us, but you know how difficult it is to go from the right side to the left side, regardless if you play at Maryland or whatever. It doesn't matter where you play. That's tough to go from this to that. It's difficult. So, but once again, you guys, I think at some point here, a deal will be done. I do believe that, Kolton will be in the building, probably a 2-year deal, and he'll get some more guaranteed money on the books.
I don't want to take I don't want this to be a headache or a problem even going into training camp. Like, we have our new starting quarterback in Geno Smith, and we need Miller. We need Miller to protect his blind side. So
and Miller knows that too. I mean, bro, this is definitely a bargaining chip here.
Let's not drag this out too long, because that's the last thing we need is a quarterback that is a solid quarterback compared to what we've had in the last couple of years go down because of some bullshit. Like, fuck that.
Hey, Thor, get out my chat, man. Somebody block Thor. We're not talking about the Kings tonight, all right? I'm not doing that shit. We're not doing it. Thor, you are blocked.
Hold on.
You're about to be unceremoniously blocked.
Oh, shout out to Wasted as well. He kicked me out of his chat temporarily yesterday. I've been kicked out of nicer places, you geriatric bastard.
Salute to our brother Wasted. Salute to our brother Thor in the building. Thor, I'm gonna call you. I want to tap in with you as well. Salute to Hug. Here's the thing. What has shown us that SpyTech is making old Raider ways decisions thus far? Not a damn thing. Folks jumping off buildings saying Jack was the linchpin. I'm dead. No sense. Oh yeah, bro. That shit had me. Yesterday, I forgot who it was saying that, our season's already over because we moved on from Jack Jones. I said,
somebody said that?
Bro, it had to have been Jack's burner or something, bro. Like, it had to have been, dog. Like, said nobody ever. You know what I'm saying?
You're a fucking idiot.
Salute to our brother Hug in the building. Appreciate you on a $10 holla. I want to ask your opinion real quick. We'll talk a little bit more about the Kolton Miller. We'll get some questions in as well, you guys. This isn't going to be the longest live. Hammer has to get to work today, so we'll probably do another 30, 45 minutes tops. But salute to Big Mike in the building, man. He said, never understood the Kolton hate. The same folks who will celebrate Marshawn Lynch being a Raider for 2 years won't give flowers to a guy who wants to be a Raider for life. Give him his flowers. And I agree with you, Big Mike. The thing is this, it has to make sense. I was talking about me. I remember me and Andy were full swing last season talking about he's struggling. This is the time to move him. It's the time to move him. And he gradually got better and shut me the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? So, but once again, it's a business. We know how this shit works. How do you feel about this latest report now with Aidan O'Connell? I know a lot of people are putting some things out there about potentially moving on from him. There were a few Twitter accounts that are not trustworthy at all, throwing that shit into the universe. And today, another one drops that, the Raiders may be moving on from Kolton Miller. He's on a rookie deal, former 4th-round pick out of Purdue. Started for us, won some games, lost some games. I think it's clear cut he's not the guy moving forward. Chip Kelly, to me, that doesn't even look like a match made in – it looks like a match made in hell to me. But he's on a rookie deal. I've said this since the offseason, and people thought I was tripping once we brought Chip Kelly in, that I didn't think Aidan O'Connell was going to make the roster. And we're like, what do you mean? Look, I'm just keeping it a buck here. I don't think that he fits what we're trying to do here. He's in the building. He's working out with his teammates. You love to see it. But now they're saying that we could potentially move on from him for a day 3 pick. So I don't know if that's you're not getting a 5th for him. You probably, maybe a 5th, 6th, 7th. What are you getting? You're not getting a 4th for sure. What are you getting? And this is coming from The Athletic, I believe. I think Vic was talking about this, said that Pete Carroll doesn't seem that high on incumbent Aidan O'Connell, and many expect them to try and trade him for a day 3 pick on the day of the draft.
I could see him being the day 3 pick. But what does that mean for us earlier in the draft if we do, in fact, trade him? Again, he's only due like a little over $1 million anyways. He's not making that much on that contract. But does that mean that they are in play to get another quarterback in the draft? Who are they looking
I
at?
think we're doing that anyways. I think
you
we're
had
doing.
Quinn
I think
Ewers.
Quinn Ewers is the guy. Hammer, your guy is the guy. I'm telling you now.
Watch your mouth.
Your
That's
guy is the
not my
guy. Your guy is the guy.
Bro,
You're a
I told
Texas
you
fan.
how I have felt about his performance the last 2 years at Texas. And I've seen so many people ask me about him specifically. And I've said, maybe with the right coaching staff, with the right coordinator, they can develop him. But again, since 2005, I have not seen a quarterback drafted out of Texas that's a starting quarterback since Vince Young.
Yeah.
So if he fits the system and they can develop him, cool. Does that necessarily mean he's going to be the successor to Geno Smith? I don't know.
Yeah, we shall see. I mean, I would love Will Howard to be. I'm not a Quinn Ewers guy at all. It just seems like there's a connection there. He visited with the Raiders. He's speaking so highly of Pete Carroll. Sounds like there's some mutual love there between our organization and the young Texas Longhorn quarterback. We shall see. I would love to have Will Howard in the building, though. I think that would be the guy. Chip, the familiarity. I know there's questions about his arm strength and so on and so forth. I think that he is a guy that you can come in and develop for a few seasons behind Geno and potentially be something down the line. But look, I would definitely reach out to New England. Hey, man, you got a late round pick. I mean, Josh McDaniels is out there. There's a clear. I know they got what they get. Josh Dobbs, I believe, is a backup. I mean, Josh McDaniels.
White man.
I know, right? But Josh McDaniels drafted the young kid out of Purdue. That was his quarterback that he wanted to develop behind Jimmy G. So, I mean, I could see potentially New England making a move or making a call and seeing what's up. I mean, once again, you know, it's difficult to find a kid that young that's already had the kind of starter minutes that he's had. I mean, he's actually been out there and fought against some of the better teams. I mean, I know we beat the Chiefs. He didn't really do too much. He had like 64 yards in the air, but Aidan went out there and was on a team where we beat the Chiefs in Kansas City.
Mike just said he could see O'Connell going to Pittsburgh. I could see that.
They brought back Mason Rudolph. I mean, Randolph, right?
Rudolph?
Randolph?
Did they?
I think they brought back Mason Randolph.
Rudolph.
Isn't I thought it's
like a reindeer, bro.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph. Rudolph, whatever. Yeah, he's back with Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So I can see. I don't see that, to be honest. I mean, why would you bring him in when you already got a Mason Rudolph in the building? I don't see. They need a starter. They need a guy that can come in and be the guy. And I don't think that Aiden's going to be the guy in Pittsburgh.
You say you could also see O'Connell to the Saints.
I mean, they got DC. Up. They still got DC under contract, which he won't probably play another snap for them.
They got Rattler. They got
Hayner. They got Hayner. Check Hayner as well.
How many fucking quarterbacks do they have? 4 or 5?
And they'll probably have Shador, one of those guys here in a minute as well to replace DC. So, but
I don't know.
And look, I get it. It makes sense to move on from Aidan. I know a lot of people, you know, including myself. I'm not gonna say high on Aidan, but I wanted him to be the starter last year, and I thought that he was the one that gave us the best chance to win. But moving forward, we're going in an entire different direction, new regime in the building. I just don't see it work. A Big Mike says AOC to the Bucks will work too.
How would that work though? I'm looking at that. I'm very curious. How would that work, Mike?
They brought back the young fella too, right? From Florida. Didn't they bring that kid back?
Trask?
Kyle Trask, or did he go somewhere else?
I don't know. You really just threw a wrench in that one for me, Mike.
Yeah, he's still out there. Yeah. So they got Kyle Trask. I mean, there's no real reason to bring in Aidan O'Connell when he's the backup to Baker Mayfield.
I don't know. This next whole week, there's so many different possibilities, and you know we hear it all the time, especially during this time of the year. Like it's lying season. You don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. Kellen Moore wants his own quarterback. Caps, I hear you. Hey, Westwood, that's not going to get it done. But hey, send a third in AOC. Give me George Pickens. Got your wide receiver, the future right there.
You want to deal with that attitude? You want to deal with that diva-like mentality?
I don't give a fuck, man. I don't care, bro.
Bro, Carroll is here and has changed the culture already. Jack is gone. They didn't take the flyer on Diggs.
I see what you did there.
They didn't take the flyer on Diggs. Like, you better fit that person.
There's more. there's more to it with Diggs. The age, the injury he's coming off of. There's a lot more that goes into it with Stephon Diggs.
Appreciate you, Just Raiders.
So, but we shall see. Salute to Just Raiders, baby, my guy in the building.
I gotta clip that.
Salute to you said Jack is gone. Salute to Hug Diggs. Talk that Raiders swaggy pimpness of a letter that Jeanty dropped on all 32 teams, bro. Draft a guy who can't. Bro, did you see that?
No.
Bro, Jeanty had a bar, dog, a bar. So I think it was dropped on The Athletic. He dropped this letter to all GMs, and he ended the letter with, "It's tackle football." You know what I'm saying? I draft a guy they can't tackle. Thank you for your time, Ashton Jeanty. It's tackle football. You know what I'm saying? I draft a guy they can't tackle. Thank you for your time.
Oh my God! Wow!
Wow.
Bro. Then I know he mentioned with me, you're getting like a Saquon Barkley-esque type player that's going to come in and you're going to win now. He was talking his shit in that letter. Talking his shit.
This is my concern in terms of drafting Jeanty. Saquon got drafted by the New York Football Giants. That fucking offensive line was musical chairs. They're locking people in. These guys are not playing up to their best performance, and ultimately, without getting a new deal, Saquon went to a team that had an established offensive line, an incredibly solid offensive line, and you see where he went. Like, I hope our line can be just as good if we are going the route of Jeanty with 6 and let Jeanty handle his business, as long as that the front 5 in front of him do their job as well.
Yeah, I just love that the young fella's talking his shit. The kid's been hitting the weight since 6th grade. You can tell, seeing the kid out there at his pro day. I'm all on the Ashton Jeanty train. Bring him in at 6 and let's run it. Salute to Hug. Thank you for reminding me that too, brother. I was definitely going to talk about that on today's show. Appreciate you, my dog. Salute to Big Mike. Maybe it's my Raiders PTSD kicking in, but I can see Jeanty going before we get to him. And this is facts. This is facts. I mean, the Jags, look, man, is Cohen sold on Trevor Etienne? Is it, who's he have out there? Trav, right?
Yeah, Etienne's there.
Yeah, Etienne's there. And then he has Bigsby as well. So they got a 1-2 punch out there. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he would want to take Jeanty there when they have some needs on the defensive side of the ball. You know what I mean?
Cohen still creeps me out, though.
Huh?
I said Liam Cohen still creeps me out, though.
Oh, he does. He does. He definitely does. But once again, you know, he got the job for a reason. You know, he helped change that offense out there in Tampa Bay, and it looks like he's going to try and turn things around for old Sunshine out there in Jacksonville and Duval. You know, so I don't know. But that's a sneaky team, and New England is once again a sneaky team because of Mike Vrabel. The success that he's had at the NFL level was because of that big workhorse running back, Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? They want to play great defense, and they want to ground and pound the football. I can definitely see those two teams right in front of us being sneaky teams to bring them in and help revive their offense. So we shall see. We shall see. Salute to S. Dot. Hammer, our line right now. Yeah, right. Hope is a great breakfast, but a bad dinner. Yo, I've never heard that one before. Hope is a great breakfast, but a bad dinner.
I've never heard that before. Fucking insane.
Yo, that's a bar. That is a bar. Well, Esther, let me say this. Sincere McCormick looked good last year before he got hurt. Is Jeanty better than Sincere?
Yo, why are you shitting on your
I didn't answer the question because I refuse to answer that. I'm asking S. Dot. My sincerest apologies, Mr. McCormick. Salute to S. Dot. Salute to Pace in the building. People don't seem to realize a superstar with high character is hard to pass up. They may just be thinking about drafting Jeanty simply based on drop-off in character after him. And once again, it's another kid that everybody speaks so highly about, you know, on and off the field. You know what I mean? A leader in the locker room, a leader off the field, good family. You know, I hear so much greatness about him out here. I don't know if you guys know, but he went to high school, Lone Star High School, right down the street from my house. Like, I hear really great things about Jeanty. So once again, you're not only getting a phenomenal football player, a potential generational talent, but you're getting a phenomenal human being that we need those kind of players in Las Vegas. We don't need these guys to go out there and get lost in the sauce. You know, God forbid we end up in another Damon Arnett, Henry Ruggs type situation. You know what I mean? Taking guys early and it doesn't pan out and they're nowhere to be found anymore. You know what I mean? So, you know.
Or just guys that fall asleep in their vehicles outside of casinos and shit.
Yeah, and get a new deal.
Fuck.
It's a nasty work out here in these streets. Sounds like a great teammate, Timmy. This is facts. Definitely, man. Definitely. Let me see right now because I would never draft Jeanty this high, and Sincere is already on our team for the cheap. Is that okay? Okay.
I'm just, again, we're a week away. I'm getting more nervous as the days go by and hearing all this shit. I'm just like, are we already gonna lose this opportunity? And if we do, what's the next plan? Like, are we gonna go offensive line? Are we gonna get somebody like Membo? Shador could still be there. Would you go and get Shador, or do we play this out in a way that nobody has even thought of in terms of like us doing our mock drafts and stuff, and go outside the box and maybe take a corner like JD Barron or something, or we end up trading back and doing some like this shit right now has got me all over the fucking place.
Yeah, I really truly have no idea what direction we're going to go in. It could be Membo there at 6. It could be Jeanty at 6. They can take Mason Graham there at 6. If Will Campbell drops past, New England, and let's just say Kolton Miller is not the guy for us moving forward, I can see Will Campbell being the left tackle of the future. There's so many different directions that we can go.
Is Cleveland taking calls? Like, you want to give them an offer and maybe get Travis Hunter? Like,
but what does that cost moving up 4 spots?
I don't know.
That's the issue because we have so many holes on this roster.
Yeah.
And I think that they're going to want a ton of draft capital to part ways with the potential Travis Hunter. I think he's going to be with Cleveland. Did you just see the GM come out and basically said that he's the what's I always butcher his name, but was it who's the kid out there with the Dodgers? Pitcher
Shohei Ohtani?
Ohtani.
Yeah.
You always butcher his name. He said that that's who he is. So you don't pass up on that at 2. If that's what you believe.
I want. And honestly, like, as long as he doesn't go to a division rival, which he most likely won't, he's another kid, and this is definitely a generational talent playing both sides of the ball. Like, if he has that opportunity to do that at the next level in the NFL, I definitely want to follow this kid's career, like 1,000%.
Yeah. And he said the other day, look, if I can't play on both sides of the ball, I don't even want to play ball. That's crazy. Like he's really adamant about playing on both sides of the ball. So
Urban Meyer was talking about him a couple of weeks ago and was like, dude is the same player he was from snap 1 to snap 174 when he's playing both sides of the ball. He still has that same energy. I was like, that's the type of kid I would love to have here.
No, definitely. Salute to Kenny. Trade partners. I'm assuming New Orleans is probably 1A at 9, move up 3 spots, get the quarterback. I think the Dolphins could potentially be a sneaky team. Where are they at 13, somewhere in that range?
I'm convinced Pittsburgh is going to try to do something right now, especially again. Yeah. We don't know what's going on with this whole thing with Aaron Rodgers, but it seems like it is slowly starting to fall on deaf ears. Like, I think that they may be that team that fucking does some wild shit to move up and get their quarterback.
The Niners could potentially move up. One of them are at 13, one of them at 11. It's Dolphins.
I think the Niners. Hold on.
And look, don't put anything past Jerry Jones, you guys. I'm telling y'all now, I would not put past him moving up to get Shador some crazy shit and trying to figure out a way to get out of that DAC contract at some point.
Niners at 11, Cowboys at 12, Dolphins at 13.
There we go. Okay, so had it right. But those would be the teams, Kenny, I'd keep an eye on. Potential trade partners. Salute to Jason, my dog, the Demon King, coming in and blessing. Hammer with 5 memberships, my dog, and then coming over here and blessing another 5 to my channel as well. My brother, salute to my guy, Demon King. He will be in the building over here at my house for the draft. Salute to my brother, Jason Hunter, man. Salute to Mutation. I'm preparing to have my heart broken when the Raiders pass on Jeanty for some stupid team building philosophy crap that doesn't always work. Talk that shit, mutation. Talk.
How far could we trade back to still draft Hampton? You could probably go as far back as maybe 21.
Yeah. And look, it's not a foregone conclusion that he's going to be a first round pick. Do I still have him being one? Yes. I still have him going to Denver there in the early 20s. Yeah.
Fuck.
But where's Denver's? Where are they at? 20. I have him going as early as the Cowboys at 12.
Denver's 20.
Okay, 20. Okay, there you go. So I think that's the kind of prime real estate for Marion Hampton at 20 with Denver, or potentially the Cowboys can pull some crazy shit and take him at 12.
I'm not convinced. I'm not sold on that. And look, they just lost Tyron Smith.
Yeah.
Like,
well, Tyron was already gone. Remember, he went elsewhere and came back to Dallas to retire.
That offensive line has been in shambles, though.
No, it's definitely
that used to be an offensive line that was considered like top 5 year in and year out. Like
Top
they
3.
were always consistent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They definitely are going to have to go the route of trying to get an offensive lineman in that first round. Like, I don't know why they're going to be so but it's Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones does whatever the fuck he wants.
Salute to Michael, man. We approach free agency many versus one. Do you think we will approach the draft differently? We approach free agency many versus one. I'm trying to figure out what my guy MA is talking about. Do you think we approach the draft differently? Elaborate, Mike. What do you mean many versus one?
Damn immunity.
Salute the Raiders Shield family. A week for the shit show. This is going to be a historical draft all the way around, in my opinion. I think we see some crazy shit go down. By the way, this is Nav, man. Salute to my guy, Nav. My dog always coming through and blessing the channels, man. Appreciate you, bro. Why you say that? A week for the shit show? Why's it got to be a shit show, man?
Yo, he said Hampton is a low budget DeMarco Murray. God damn.
Hey, but immunity. Hey, if you're a low budget DeMarco Murray, that means you're still going to be one of the better running backs in the NFL. DeMarco Murray was a phenomenal athlete. So salute to Alex gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships. My brother is hammer, damn near choke slams his taco over there in the corner.
Pizza.
Pizza. There you go. I should have knew it's a Jersey thing. Salute to my guy Alex. If you guys missed out on those, hit the link. It's pinned up on both sides. Become members. It definitely helps us keep the lights on over here at Shieldmore, man. Appreciate you, Alex, my brother, man.
We got many good players versus one great player.
Okay, so many good players versus one great player. I think that this is going to be a blend of both. I think we're going to end up with a blue chip guy at 6. We'll end up with some guys that could potentially be starters for us in those mid rounds. And I think, honestly, Mike, I think we leave this draft, the first 3 rounds, with 3 starters. I do. I think this is going to be a back-to-back year. I'm calling it now. Is it a hot take? I'm calling it now. We got 3 back-to-back starters. Last year, Brock, JPJ, Glaze. This year is going to be, I don't know if it's Jeanty, Benjamin Morrison, or Siobhan Rebel, and then like a Trey Harris. We're going to leave with 3 starters this year.
I want somebody that's going to be in here right away that will help change, like be part of this culture change right now under Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly and John Spytek. Like, you get this guy, he'll be locked in, let him perform at the high level, be here for 5 years on the cheap, and we can build everything else as we continue to go on while this rookie is on that contract. As long as I'm really praying it's Jeanty, though.
Yeah.
Like,
too.
we've seen a lot of these teams recently with how they've drafted players, the type of players they've drafted, what those players have done on these rookie contracts, and how they have continued to build within the draft, how they've built via free agency. And some of these teams that you wouldn't have thought before, like they're in the playoffs or they're contending or they're fighting in divisions. Why can't that be us now?
Yeah. I really think that Pete believes that Eric Stokes can be the guy for him at corner. If we don't end up with a Ramsey, making a move for him or taking one early, I really, truly believe that he thinks that Stokes can be the guy in year 1. And it's kind of scary to bet on that because of the health issues that he's had. But I really believe that he thinks that he can be one of those guys at the corner spot. We shall
talked about him as well.
Yeah.
You talked about him over the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. Daniel says, Shepner said, watch out for Membu. After the last debacle, he gets the early benefit of the doubt. I mean, you never know. You never know, man. I wouldn't put it past the Raiders taking a tackle right there at 6. I agree. I think Golden's a dog. I have him as kind of my 1B wide receiver in this class. Everybody knows I love Trey Harris. I'm not going to say Trey Harris is the best wide receiver in this class, but he's my favorite wide receiver in this class. I got him and Trey as my 1A, 1B. And I know a lot of people are going to kill me for that because of McMillan and blah, blah, blah. I don't give a shit what nobody says. I like Golden. I like Trey Harris. He's a stud. I got Caleb as my number 3 before Juckins and after Trayvon. I'm not mad about that. People are kind of being a little quiet on Caleb Johnson. I think he was out there visiting with the Commanders the other day. So he's making his rounds right now. He would be a stud out there with Jaden Daniels and them. That'd be a great place for him to go.
That's a dope profile picture.
No, that is cold.
That's
cold.
fucking dope.
Let me see. Maybe one of them for the second pick, Graph. What do you mean, Adam? Elaborate, bro. You said maybe one of them for the second pick? Are you talking about Trey or Matthew Golden? Golden's gone in the first.
Golden's definitely gone in the first.
Yeah. I have him going as early as Dallas at 12. Potentially maybe sneaking over. Let's just say Denver doesn't take a running back there. Maybe Golden goes to Denver.
Can I not see another fucking Texas prospect going to our fucking division again?
Hey. Trey, I would love for Trey to fall to the 3rd round. Adam, if Trey Harris falls to the 3rd, I'm running to the podium to go get Trey Harris. I just don't know where they want to get that wide receiver. I don't know if they want to get him in the 2nd or in the 3rd. I truly don't know. I don't think that they want to get one in the 1st. I know that. With Jacoby in the building, with Tucker, and all these other guys out there, I think that they want to get one there in the 2nd or the 3rd. So, but if Trey is there in the 3rd, I'm all for it. I want to get that corner, regardless if we make a move for Jalen. If Revel falls to the 2nd round, man, that is my move. Siobhan Revel or Benjamin Morrison, my guy out of Notre Dame. But if Josh Simmons falls, the tackle out of Ohio State, or one of those Tyler Booker, one of those type of guys dropped to the 2nd, I would not be mad at all if Spytech took one of those guys in the trenches there in the 2nd round. Salute to S-Dot. Spytech is a high upgraded, very smart homework researching team builder. Sorry to say he doesn't build like Al. Get that Jeanty shit out of here. Well, this is the thing, S-Dot, right? Sheesh. That may not be a Jeanty move. I know he took Bucky Irvin in the middle rounds. Well, he had his hands in the pot when they took Bucky Irvin there in the middle rounds. But we got Pete Carroll in the building now. One is a proven winner. One is trying to prove himself to be a winner, if that makes any sense. So, yes, Spytech won a championship in Tampa Bay. That wasn't his team. He was there helping, definitely behind the scenes and helping find talent and so on and so forth. One is a winner. One is trying to prove he's a winner. And if Pete says, I want Jeanty at 6, I need my bell cow there, I don't think there's going to be any arguments. I don't. Even though Pete may be gone in 3 years, I honestly believe that they'll allow him to get his guy there at 6. If they truly believe that he could be a generational type guy. Salute to S-Dot, my dog. Let me see. The thing is, he's too small. And I love that kid out of Oregon, man. I got a chance to talk to him numerous times, interviewed him at the Shrine Bowl. Muhammad he's nice. He's just very, very small. I don't know where where would you take him in the later rounds? Muhammad's a stud, but he's a really, really short nickel corner. Let me see. Zon in the building, man. Salute to my guy Zon. Salute to CGR, Adam Sweeney, all the mob fathers in here. Salute to Mikey. Pete is also on a timeline and isn't thinking about winning in his window. Yeah, Pete's trying to win now. Let me see. Get some questions in you guys. Trying to compete. Yes, Savion Williams could be a good combo if we do get Higgins or Golden. It's funny, man, because of the size, because of the speed, Savion to me is going to be a mid-round guy. And I don't think there's any way that you get both of those. You're not going to get one because Savion to me is going to be a 3rd round guy. And I wouldn't be shocked if a team took a flyer on him in the 2nd, to be real, because of the speed and because of, what is he, 6'5"?
We've had him in a couple of our mocks too. I think each of us have had him in our mocks at least once. There's
always that weird team that takes a weird wide receiver at a weird time. Like I can see Tennessee potentially pulling the trigger on that move. You know what I'm saying? Like it to me, it's like
don't get any weirder than that.
You know what I mean? Like you could always see it. So I don't know, man. Let me see. Bro, Graham, I talked about this on yesterday's show, brother. Instead of Jalen Ramsey, if I can say, yo, Seattle, take another third-round pick. Give us Tariq Woolen, the kid that Pete Carroll drafted, that big body, playmaker, ball hawk. Go get him. Send both your thirds to Seattle, for Geno and Tariq Woolen. I would do that all day, every day.
Oh, shit. Did you see what Vic said a couple hours ago?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
Raiders could draft quarterback as high as round 2 as they seek Geno Smith's backup, and it's fucking Quinn Ewers that's in this picture.
I just don't have him going in the second. There's gonna be a few runs on quarterbacks. Ewers would be a third-round guy to me at best. Third round, tops.
Cowboys are signing an offensive lineman, so maybe they will try to go running back in the first round. They're signing veteran offensive lineman Hakeem Adeniji, who has 15 career starts. He could play both tackle and guard spots.
That's a depth piece. That's not going to stop them from doing anything that they want to do. But they already brought in 2 veteran running backs in free agency, so maybe that'll allow them to get a running back later. It's probably receiver at 12. They need that guy opposite of CeeDee Lamb. They need a guy that can help their wide receiver room. And they just lost one of their guys to New Orleans. I think they need to go get one of those guys. I think McMillan or Golden are going to be a Cowboy there at 12. But once again, I wouldn't be shocked if Hampton was there. Boom.
I could see them going the route of one of those receivers, and I've looked at Golden potentially being that guy that lands in Dallas.
Yeah. And he did visit with them. Jerry, his eyes are on the prize out here. Texas guy. He's definitely in tune with what Golden got going on. So I wouldn't be shocked. Salute to Alex gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships. My brother, man, thank you so much for gifting all those members today, bro. Appreciate you. Salute to all the new members in the building. Once again, you guys, if you guys want to become members on both channels, the links are pinned up top. Appreciate you as always. That's a name that we haven't heard a lot about, man, down. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Haven't heard of Gabriel, man. And he's a guy that'll probably go in the later rounds because of it. And, and what's the reason for it? Hammer the size, right?
Don't want no short people.
Look, I'm just saying, bro, like if he's available in those later rounds and you miss out on your guy, maybe Chip dips into his Oregon Trail. You know what I mean?
That was good. You know what's funny though? So many people in the nation were shouting for Dylan Gabriel for the longest time. That shit phased out tremendously.
Yeah. And where are they at now? Take him in the second round. Take him in the third round.
Yep.
Bro, I have not heard that man's name in many moons now. Salute to UA. Spytech, Howie Roseman, Ozzie Newsome would not draft Jeanty, but what do they know? They only won Super Bowls. No recent team got a running back in the first and won a Super Bowl. Let me say this real quick. You can't say shit about what Spytech would do. We don't even know. It's his first year ever drafting. You do know that there was a whole brain trust in Tampa Bay, and he wasn't the decision maker out there, the lone decision maker, right? We don't know what that's the biggest question mark in the nation right now is what are we going to do? Because honestly, Spytech's a trenches guy. Yeah, he's going to tell everybody that. Because guess what? Will Campbell's there. Mimble's there. Maybe he's trying to
Banks is there.
Maybe he's trying to build up some hype around those guys so we can potentially move back and pick up some. Spytech loves his picks. How the fuck do we know that?
And Mel, please, Ozzie, respectfully, you can't put anybody in the same stratosphere as Ozzie Newsome. Like that is a GM that I have highly respected. Like as long as he has worked in a front office, that dude is going to forever be goated as the greatest GM of all time.
Yeah. And he's definitely and Howie's right there. He's going to be
Howie's getting up there.
Yeah.
Howie is getting up there, but Ozzie is in a different stratosphere by himself.
Yeah, facts. But I hear what you're saying, brother, but you can't put Spytech in that mix right now because you don't even know where he's going to go with this. There's a new brain trust in the building. It's him and Tom Brady, Pete Carroll, and those guys in the building making the decisions now. It's not Tampa Bay, i.e. this guy, and this guy. We don't know. We truly don't know. That's the fun part about this draft is we honestly have no clue what direction they're going to go in. It's easy to say Pete Carroll loves his DBs. He's a former DB. Will Johnson, But Pete Carroll loves his running backs. He took Kenneth Walker in the first round. He took Penny in the first round. You know, it's gonna be Jeanty. Then you look at Tom Brady, you're like, shit, well, he's always talking about getting a quarterback that can sit behind the quarterback now to develop. Shador's there at 6, potentially. Like, we don't know.
I'm telling you now, you are going to see a bag of fucking mixed emotions come next Thursday night when that 6 overall pick is called. I'm telling you right now, you're going to see a different reaction on each and every single one of our faces as we do this live. Guarantee you.
Yeah, facts. But yes, he was a part of a championship in Tampa Bay. But the problem is we don't know the severity. We don't know how much involvement he had. You know, I know that he had his hand in bringing in Tom Brady over, and that definitely helped sign, seal, and deliver that Super Bowl. So I'm not here to say you're wrong about that part, but we just don't know the way he drafts. We have no clue. Oh, Kenneth Walker was a second-round guy. But either way, I just mean taking running backs early. Penny was a first-rounder out of San Diego State. Kenneth Walker was a second-round guy out of Michigan State. So definitely. Salute to Silver and Facts. If 2 quarterbacks go, plus Trav and Abdul in the first 4, is Jeanty, Mimbu. 1 quarterback. That's where it gets less straightforward, hoping for a trade back, or who would you pick? I'm gonna be real with you, Silver and Facts. I don't have Shador going in those first 4. So it's probably going to end up being Cam at 1, Trav at 2, Carter at 3. New England probably takes Will Campbell. Yep. And then you still have your Mimbu, your Jeanty, or your Shador there. I honestly think it's gonna be one of those 3 guys. I think Graham goes to Jacksonville at 4. Yep. So I think that you're going to have your pick unless somebody moves up, which makes sense. But I think it's Mimbu, Jeanty, or Shador. And
how would you feel if we did get Shador? Like I haven't asked you this question with everything that's been all over the place within the last week and him coming in for the top 30 visit. How would you feel if at 6 we ended up taking Shador?
The Raider in me now will be like, wow. But the Raider, me thinking that this team is finally thinking about the future would have me hyped. I'm a Shador guy. I would love to see Shador in the silver and black. You guys know the love I have for Shador. I've posted videos and pictures, and I covered him at the Shrine Bowl and the Big 12 Pro Day. I'm a Shador guy, so I would love it. I would love it because once again, we're not just thinking about the now. Honestly, and people don't want to hear this. We're Raider fans. We're honest Raider fans. More than likely, you're not going to win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith. So what's best? That you have a guy that you could potentially develop behind the scenes that Tom has, helped, get to where he is. That's a guy that he signed to his first NIL deal with his brand, and he's had his hand in the development with Shador. So I'd be ecstatic, bro. You'd probably hear me screaming around, running around the house. Real talk. I wouldn't be upset. I'd be very, very happy, but I'd also be very happy with Jeanty, and I'd be happy with Mimbu, even though that's not the sexy pick there at 6. Salute to Silver and Facts. Hoping for a trade back, or who would you pick? I mean, bro, in a perfect world, you can trade back, but it just depends on how many teams actually want to move up. Who's going to be available there? If Shador is there, you never know. That's all good, bro. Let me get these supers in real quick, you guys, before we get out of here. Hammer got to move and shake here in a second. Got to get his ass to work. Let me get these supers in. Salute to everybody once again in the building. Raider Shield, Nab man in the building. A shorty lefty that can't complete a pass with no defense. That guy, Gabriel, that dude could wind up in the 6th round. No shit. Facts. Salute to 2-4. Whoever we draft, we have to support regardless. Man, this is facts. This is facts, even though, man, we may not be excited like wasted with the Tyree Wilson pick, or like excited like wasted with the Brock Bowers pick, or like excited with like every pick that we've ever took that wasted ever seen us take. Yeah, that. Salute to DeMarcus. I mean, bro, we gotta be honest here. You know what I mean? Like, look, I like the move of bringing in Geno Smith, but once again, he's never won a playoff game. So we can't talk about getting to a Super Bowl and winning one. He's been to one playoff game in his life, and he got blown out by the 49ers. It was like 40-something to 20-something. So, I'm not going to act as though this was a move that's going to move the needle and win us a championship right now. So just not going to do it. Salute, man, to everybody here in the building. Just hit that hour mark. Hammer has to get out of here and get to work. Once again, salute to everybody who pulled up. If any other Raider news drops, we will be live and holding it down as always. Hammer, any words on the way out, brother?
Nah, I appreciate y'all. Feels good to finally be doing the Graph and Hammer show. It's been way too long, and we're a week away from the draft. I'm gonna try to get something. I know it's WrestleMania weekend coming up.
Can't wait.
I do want to try to get a live in at some point this week, and I'm gonna try to reach out to Jake because I kind of want to have some fun and do. I want to do a mock draft with content creators within the AFC West.
I did one with Jake, Ben, and Darcy the other day. It was hella fun.
I definitely want to try to run that, and then I think I might be personally done with the mock drafts, but if you're around, there's one that we still haven't done yet that we need to do.
Well, you know what? I haven't done my 4 through 7 yet.
We have to do a war room, bro.
Oh, yeah.
We have to do our war room.
Who do we got to get?
We're exactly a week away, but we have to do a war room.
Should we get Bro Schmo and Scout back?
Let's do it.
Okay, I'm gonna read out.
We have to get that before next Thursday. Absolutely.
I'll reach out to Bro Schmo today. I'll reach out to Scout. Scout will be around at some point with the draft too. So that'll definitely be a dope show. But once again, I do need to do my final 4 through 7 mock. I already did the Jeanty, Siobhan Revel, Jack Beck first 3 round. Gotta double back and do the 4 through 7. Salute 22 for watching wasted during the draft. Priceless. Salute to my guy 24 and salute to CGR on the way out. Appreciate that content. Salute to my guy. As always, love and appreciate you all on the way out. Wipe them feet, man. Break them thumbs. Hit that subscribe button. As always, we love every single one of y'all. Without you guys, this shit does not work. And I love on the way out that we found the guy that talked about Jack Jones. Please tell me there ain't no replacing Jack Jones. That was Rich Loaf. It was Rich Loaf, the Jack Jones aficionado. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jack is gone. And, when we finish, this is how we do it. There's that part too.
And when I leave, come together like butt cheeks.
Love. We out of here, y'all. 1.